भक्तिवेदांत हॉल में अनुवादित किया जाएगा। भक्तों से निवेदन है कि कृपया भक्तिवेदांत हॉल में प्रस्थान करें। हरे कृष्णा। A humble request to all the devotees to kindly keep their mobile phones on silent mode when the class is on. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudiraye Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Hare Krishna. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 4, entitled Vidura Approaches Maitreya. Text 2. Tesham Maireya Doshena Vishamikrita Te Chetasam Nimlochati Ravav Venunam Iva Mardanam Tesham Maireya Doshena Vishamikrita Chetasam Nimlochati Ravav Venunam Iva Mardanam Tesham Maireya Doshena Vishamikrita Chetasam Nimlochati Ravav Venunam Iva Mardanam. Tesham Maireya Doshena Vishamikrita Chetasam No Glam Tesham Maireya Doshena Vishamikrita Chetasam Venunam Iva Mardanam Tera Maireya Doshena Vishamrita Sesam Nimlochati Ravavase Venunam Iva Mardanam. Matajis? Tesham Maireya Doshena Vishamikrita Chetasam Nimlochati Ravavase Venunam Iva Mardanam. Word by word translation. Tesham, of them. Maireya, of intoxication. Doshena, by the faults. Vishamikrita, become unbalanced. Became unbalanced. Chetasam, of those of whom the minds. Of those of whom the minds. Nimlochati, sets. Ravav, the sun. Asit, takes place. Venunam, of the bamboos. Iva, as. Mardanam, destruction. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation. As by the friction of bamboos, destruction takes place, so also at sunset, by the interaction of the faults of intoxication, all their minds became unbalanced and destruction took place. Purport. When there is a need of fire in the forest, by the will of the Supreme, it takes place due to friction among the bamboos. Similarly, the descendants of Yadu were all destroyed by the will of the Lord, by the process of self-destruction. Just as there is no possibility of a fire occurring deep in the forest due to human effort, so also there was no power in the universe which could vanquish the descendants of Yadu, who were protected by the Lord. The Lord wanted them to be so destroyed, and thus they obeyed his order, as indicated by the word tad anujñata. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruhu Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Jai Shunyavadi Pashyat Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, a warm welcome to all the devotees who have come for today's Sunday Feast program. Before starting, I would like to beg for the blessings of all the assembled Vaishnavas, my senior God brothers, my father, all the wonderful Vaishnavas who are here, those who are listening online, all the assembled devotees, beg for your blessings. So, yeah, while I was reading the verse, over here, I felt something is missing. There was one word missing. It was there, but it was not here. I don't know how. The printed version, maybe Asit was not there. Yeah, so sorry about that. So translation, as by the friction of bamboos, destruction takes place, so also at sunset, by the interaction of the faults of intoxication, all their minds became unbalanced and destruction took place. Hare Krishna. So, we are reading from the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, the fourth chapter. So, actually, this is a conversation that is going on between Vidura and Maitreya, but this is right now Vidura and Uddhava. So, Vidura, after being asked to leave from Hastinapur by Duryodhan, he goes on, parikrama all over the country, goes to all the tirthas, and finally he meets Uddhava. And after meeting Uddhava is a direct associate of Lord Krishna, very, very close, intimate associate of Lord Krishna in Dwarka. So when, obviously Vidura is a devotee, so the moment he meets another devotee, he asks that, tell me about the welfare of the Yadus, tell me about the Pandavas, because he has left Hastinapur before the war happened. And he has just been roaming around. So he's saying, tell me about what is happening. So Uddhava then starts, very beautiful in chapter 3.1, 3.2, these two chapters. Very beautifully, Uddhava covers the whole pastimes of Krishna from his appearance up to his disappearance. And the actual disappearance is in these three verses, 1, 2, and 3 of this fourth chapter. So this particular pastime of Krishna disappearing, it's actually very painful for devotees. In one sense, to read about the Lord's, we celebrate Janmashtami. As devotees, we celebrate Janmashtami. We never celebrate Krishna's leaving, because it is a very painful thing. We don't even know. I mean, I'm sure many of us don't know what was the day on which Krishna left. So, because we don't want to go there. It's a very painful thing for devotees to discuss. So, but the Lord, in the same way, as he says, Janma karma cha me divyam, evam yo veti tatvataha, tyaktva deham punar janma naiti, mameti so Arjuna. So he says that my birth and activities are transcendental. Transcendental means what? We should not measure it by our benchmarks. We should not use apna maapdand nahi use karna hai uske liye. We have to understand that Krishna is transcendental, the supreme Lord, Lord of everything, Lord of Brahma, Lord of Indra, everyone. Just now we saw the drama. He's the Lord of Indra. Indra is the head of the demigods. All sare devatagan jo hai, all the devatas, he is the controller of the devatas, Indra, and he is surrendering to Lord Krishna, the supreme Lord. So the supreme Lord, his activities, his birth and activities are transcendental. One who understands this, punar janma naiti, just who understands this much in essence, that his activities are not like our activities. Punar janma naiti, mam eti so Arjuna. But if his birth is transcendental, his leaving cannot be material. His leaving is also transcendental. When Krishna leaves, even if in ordinary sight it may feel as though he left like an ordinary person only. What is this? No, but when Krishna leaves, when he leaves also it is transcendental. So it is described that when the Yadus, this is after the Hastinapur war was over, 35, 36 years had passed, and Yudhishthira had established very nicely dharma all over the planet. Everything was going very nicely. So at that time, the demigods along with Brahma, they approached Krishna in Dwarka, and they pointed out to him that, my Lord, now dharma has been established. The reason for which you came here, dharma samsthapanarthaya, right, to establish dharma, paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. So he says that this paritranaya sadhunam done, vinashaya cha dushkritam done. So now, my Lord, if it is your desire, you can wind up your activities. So Krishna agrees. He says, okay, let us start the wind up procedure. So after that, one by one, the incidents start rolling out. That the sons of Krishna, the sons, grandsons of Krishna, there is a yajna that is organized by Vasudev. So all the great Brahmanas come there, and in that yajna, the sons and grandsons of Krishna, they kind of play a prank. Ek hasi majak mein they play a prank on the Brahmanas, including Narad Muni. And they go to them and they dress up Samba, one of the sons of Krishna. They dress him up as a woman. And they put some cloths like this, under his clothes, as though that lady is pregnant. And they go up to the Brahmanas and they ask them, oh great Brahmanas, oh great knowers of everything. Well, it's a sarcastic way mein uन लोग को पूछते हैं कि please tell us, is this lady going to have a son or a daughter? So now they are Brahmanas, they are knowing, all knowing, and Narad Muni is also there who knows everything, past, present, future, उनको सब मालूम है. And they also know in one sense that now the will of the Lord, the wind up procedure has started. अभी wind up चालू हो गया है. तो ये वही लीला चालू हो गया. This Leela has started. So they say that, oh, the child that is born, this child, whatever is born from this lady, will be the cause of destruction of all of you Yadus. Now many of them are young boys, some of them are young men. They are like shocked. My God, what is this? What have they said? And when they remove that cloth, they find a silver mace. Silver ka mace, right? Silver mace they find, and they become very afraid. They go immediately to the king and they say that, ye aisa ho gaya, humse gadbad ho gaya, we did this. And he takes that mace and they grind it to a fine powder and they throw it into the ocean. They're living in Dwarka, no? They throw it into the sea. And they think that, chalo, bala tal gayi, bro, bala talti nahi hai. Those pieces of sand, that silver, they come into the shore. They're brought to the shore again. And from that silver, canes, bamboo sticks, they arise from that. And then later on, all kinds of inauspicious signs start appearing, in Dwarka. And Krishna tells all the Dwarka Vasis that, I think we should now go to Prabhas Kshetra, which is on the banks, which is Dwarka is an island, right? It's inside the sea. So we should go to Prabhas Kshetra and we should do some nice Vedic rituals over there to counteract all these bad omens that we are seeing. So they say, yes, we all go. So the entire whole Yadu clan, all of them go to Prabhas Kshetra except the queens and few elder, devotees like Vasudev and Devaki, they stay back. Everyone else goes to Prabhas Kshetra. And over there, they perform these rituals, Vedic Yagya they do. They give lot of charity to the Brahmanas who are there. They take a bath. And then after taking the bath, they take permission of the Brahmanas that whatever remnants are there, we will eat it. And over remnants, there was also some mild liquor that was there. They started drinking that also. But when they drank it, they got so intoxicated by it that in intoxicated state, they started calling each other some bad names, something. They started speaking, cursing each other. And in that drunken brawl, as they say, that drunken state, all of them started first calling each other bad names, cursing each other, then beating each other, and finally killing. They picked up those canes which were there on that banks of Prabhas Kshetra. They picked up those canes. Those canes were made from what? From that silver mace. So they took those canes, and with those canes they started, because they didn't have any weapons. They not carried their weapons. With those canes they started, with their bare hands they started beating, and Krishna and Balram were also there in that fight. They were also, because it is their will. It is the Supreme Lord will that everything has to be ended. We'll discuss why. I'm just giving you the background of the story of the pastime. And like this, every single one of them was killed. All of them were gone. Only Krishna and Balram were remaining. That's it. So Balramji, after seeing all this, he gets so that he goes into yoga state and he returns back to God. And then Krishna goes inside and he sits there, sips water from Saraswati. Next verse that is coming. I won't cover that. So this is the way, the trailer to the leaving of Krishna. That finally he is going to leave now. So it's a very, very powerful pastime. There are a lot of lessons we can try and learn from that. So I'll try and just share a few thoughts based on the purport, of course, of Srila Prabhupada. So in the purport, one of the first sentence that Prabhupada makes, he says, when there is a need of fire in the forest, by the will of the Supreme, it takes place due to friction amongst the bamboos. Just think, forest is full of trees and foliage and so many kinds of species of plants and trees and creepers and grasses and weeds and so many things growing in the forest, right? So many things growing in the forest. All it takes for such a big forest to catch fire is what? 2 bamboos. Bamboos also, once they start growing, they keep growing and they keep spreading. But though bamboo kafi hai, if it becomes little dry in the summer, those bamboos, because of the wind, in summer sometimes you see there's more wind. The summer, the bamboos brush against each other, those dried up bamboos. When the dried bamboos brush against each other, there is some spark that comes. That spark then sets fire to the bamboo and the nearby foliage, and then within no time the fire spreads entirely through the forest. This is how a forest fire starts. There is no explanation why it starts. No one knows. As Prabhupada says, when there is a need for forest fire, by the will of the Supreme, friction amongst bamboos and the fire starts. It's very powerful for us to see that actually, padam padam yad vipadam natesham. There is danger at every step. Any moment, anything can happen. We see like Los Angeles, this fire that happened, very unfortunate, right? That 40,000 acres. I mean, for us to just imagine, 40,000 acres worth of land was destroyed completely by the fire. And this is Los Angeles, the richest state in the United States of America. Richest state. Most powerful people in US stay either in Washington DC or in Los Angeles. So powerful, so much money, so much fashion, so much glamour, so much, Janmaishwara Shuti Shivir, so much is there, but no use. All burned to ashes. Houses of people, so many great, celebrities, big people, their houses got burnt. They couldn't do anything. Imagine, they must have tried, no? If you know a fire is coming, you will try everything, no? You will keep water buckets, you will put lot of water, you will keep everything, sprinkler system, sab kuch. Koi fayda nahi. All gone in matter of minutes. Fire, when it comes, we have to understand what is the force of destruction. We have seen the force of creation, we don't see the force of maintenance, but maintenance is very powerful. That maintaining something, creating is not so difficult actually. We can create things very easily. But to maintain is very tough. To destroy is very easy. Very easy. It's easier to destroy than to create or to maintain. So, from these incidents, we can see that Prabhupada is saying, friction amongst bamboos, a fire can start. Similarly, when the time of dissolution comes, see, today we are living in a very comfortable way in Mumbai, in Maharashtra, in India. We are feeling कि यार ठीक ही है यार सब अच्छा कल budget भी अच्छा आया we'll save some money now and we become very comfortable. See, this is the nature of the material world. There are always ups and downs. I was hearing a small video of Swayam Bhagwan Keshav Maharaj, a small video. He is saying that if someone is in hospital and you see उनका वो जो lifeline रहता है, if it is a straight line, what does it mean? Person is dead. So he's saying that it has to be like this. The lifeline has to be going like this. Then we know that the person is alive. So in same way he said, material world means, and in spiritual life also, there will be ups and downs. Don't think that our life will be like this, straight, smooth. That means you are dead. Spiritually also, we should understand we are following a spiritual life, we will have ups and downs. In our family life, there will be ups and downs. In our work, there will be ups and downs. In our dealings with society, there will be ups and downs. So, don't become too comfortable in your life. You should be. No harm in being comfortable, but don't become too comfortable. Because destruction is just around the corner. Don't think it won't come to you. Oh, forest fires happen only in Los Angeles. Yahan thodi na hota hai. Yeah, but when the time for dissolution comes, Lord doesn't need anything to destroy, actually. Nothing is needed. One element of Prakriti is enough. Earth, water, fire, air, ether. Any one is enough to destroy everything. Just one. He has to just activate one. Khatam. Everything finished. Earth. Earth, if there is an earthquake, क्या कर लोगे आप? मतलब, if you just imagine, if there is an earthquake, what you can do? Everything, your whole building, everything starts shaking. A ceiling comes crashing on you. कहाँ भागोगे? मतलब बिल्डिंग से बाहर निकलने तक आप सोचिए निकल गया बिल्डिंग से, निकल गया, जान बची, वो जमीन आपको खा जाएगा. If it your time has come, well, nothing, nobody. Jai Shri Radha Gopinath Bhagavan ki jai. So, if your time has come, well, nobody can save you. Kuch bhi kar lo, do whatever you want. Nothing can save you. Everything in this universe, you have to understand what is the power of maintenance. What is the brilliant design that has gone into this universe. If the sun comes little closer to the earth, what will happen? We'll all burn to death. Everything will be burnt. Doesn't have to come very much. Right now the distance is 93 million miles. Okay? I don't know how much it comes closer in summer and how much it goes further in winter. Not much. I understand the orbit is the same. It's just that the earth tilts towards this side and tilts towards this side. Accordingly, north hemisphere, south hemisphere में summer, winter होता है. अभी 93 million का, if it becomes maybe 83 million, we'll be all finished. There'll be no earth worth talking about. We'll be burnt completely. And if 93 million becomes 103 million, same thing will happen. Everything will be destroyed. Everything will be frozen. We'll all be frozen. We'll have ice in Mumbai. Ice will be, instead of rain, you'll have ice in Mumbai. Yeah. So there's such a delicate thing. The Lord wants to destroy, can destroy like this. Koi problem nahi hai. The moon. There's so much poetry composed about the moon. It deserves also. Moon is so beautiful. When the moon comes a little closer to the earth, we say, Chand itna sundar hai. If only the moon could, like somebody is composing, I wish I Chand tare aapke liye tod ke launga. अरे चांद एक थोड़ा पास में आ गया, everything will be destroyed. If the moon comes closer, what will happen? All the tides are controlled by the moon. The tides, high tide, low tide of the sea is controlled by the moon. So, imagine if the moon comes too close, the tides will go out of control. The sea, Chowpatty Sea will come inside here. हमको पी जाएगा. The whole sea will eat us, drink us up. The Earth's rotation will slow down because a high, a heavy object is coming close to the Earth. Gravitational force is affected. The Earth will rotate slower. Days will become longer. Nights will become shorter. Everything will be destroyed. So it doesn't take much if you take, if material nature decides to stop producing grains, to stop producing rains, क्या करेंगे? जमीन उर्जाऊ नहीं है. The ground which you are growing grains, you are growing so many things over there, if that land becomes infertile, क्या कर सकते हैं हम लोग? होता है ना? There are places where the land is becoming infertile, too much pesticides, land is becoming infertile. The farmers are giving up, they're selling their land. बोलो इसको भी गुड़गांव बना दो. जो गुड़गांव was a farm earlier. उसको भी वो metropolis बन गया. So same way, many people will be, imagine there's no food to eat. What you'll do? You'll all die in no time. Drinking water. In South Africa, there were some cities, couple of cities, which ran out of drinking water. There's no water in the taps. See how much we take things for granted. हम लोग BMC को बहुत सुनाते हैं सब लोग कि क्या कैसा सब कंस्ट्रक्शन करके तोड़ के रखा है सारे देश को. But yeah, at least water is coming to your taps every day, right? If that water dries up, imagine the 5 lakes that are supplying water to Mumbai. Those lakes only dry up because there's no rains. इस साल बारिश नहीं हुआ तो पानी नहीं है. You see how much we are dependent on things happening properly. Maintenance of the universe is happening properly, which is why we are alive and well. We take all these things for granted. One of these things goes away, we are finished. So rains nahi hai, grains nahi hai, kaise jiyenge log? So if the Lord wants to destroy, it doesn't take much. 2 bamboos coming together and having friction with each other, a whole forest can be destroyed, the whole world can be destroyed. Fire kaise bhi, Somehow the fire can, how does a forest fire get extinguished? Not with fire extinguishers. These fire extinguishers, which are like fire engines, kitna bhi, however powerful they may be, they are nothing in front of a in front of a forest fire. No power, nothing you can do. So like that, we can understand that this material world, when the Lord wants to destroy, there's nothing we can do. In the meantime, we also are experiencing, you should not feel, oh, this is happening at world level. Oh, apne ko thodi effect hota hai, it doesn't affect me. But no, even at our level, we keep experiencing, a dissolution, destruction, mini destruction of sorts in our own body. In whatever body we are, in whatever situation we may be, whether we live in South Mumbai or North Mumbai or wherever we live in Mumbai or wherever we live in the world, whatever are carefully collected, resources, we carefully collect. No, over a whole lifetime we collect, we save money. Both mehnat se we save money, we save assets, we build assets, we try to make degrees for ourselves. So many things we collect over a lifetime. All of them, and we collect and we show also. दिखाते हैं हम लोगों को कि I am from so and so college, okay, बड़े humility से बताते हैं, but हाँ, मतलब you are actually flaunting. We are trying to show to the world कि I am from a top league college, like that. I was very lucky to get there. Humility में बोलेंगे, लेकिन दिखा रहे हैं कि I am from a great college. So all these things which we are collecting, at one point of time, universal dissolution will happen in your body. All gone. आप कितना भी मेहनत करो, however hard you try, whatever fight you may do, whatever medicines, whatever you do, when your time comes, gone. Doesn't take much. One element in your body has to fail and everything goes. Your lungs stop working, gone. Your brain stops working, gone. Your heart stops working, gone. One thing is all that's needed to finish you off. So it's a very powerful lesson that Prabhupada is giving us for us to understand that, when the Lord's will is there, if there's a need for fire in the forest, then everything will be destroyed. In the same way, coming back to this pastime, if you look at this pastime, whatever happens like this pastime where sometimes if we look at it, it may be, in the next verse also it is mentioned that we may see that these Yadus are fighting amongst each other. They are associates of Krishna and Balram. How this is possible? How they can kill each other like this? Very difficult to understand. And Acharyas explain that this the Lord does to bewilder people only. He is not interested in impressing anyone. Krishna is not trying to impress anyone. Ki, देखो, see, I came like God and I am leaving also like God only. उनको पड़ी नहीं है. He is not bothered about anything because he is very clear that this is the time, so now everyone has to leave. So Prabhupada makes another powerful point in the purport. He says, just as there is no possibility of a fires occurring deep in the forest due to human effort. I mean, deep inside the forest, human effort से fire होना बहुत unlikely है. Unless someone is really stupid, मतलब एक अलग लेवल का stupidity चाहिए कि forest के अंदर गया, cigarette फूका, नीचे फेंका और ऐसे चल दिया. एक अलग लेवल का stupidity चाहिए उसके लिए. Otherwise, human effort से forest fire नहीं होता है. And even if someone does something like that, if the Lord's will is not there, कोई fire नहीं होगा, कुछ नहीं होगा. Because the forest is actually a very wet place, very moist. It's very moist. Still it catches fire when the Lord desires. Right? So, also there was no power in the universe that could vanquish the descendants of Yadu because they were protected by the Lord. So this is another very powerful statement that Prabhupada makes, that the Lord, His associates, the Yadus, the Yadav Sena, so to say, they were so powerful that actually there was, even after the Kurukshetra war, they were not killed. All the others, both sides, Pandava's side and the Kuru side, everyone was killed. But inko kuch nahi hua. They're so powerful because, as it is described in the Bhagavatam itself, that they are actually expansions of demigods. Devatas, when the Lord was going to come, the Devatas were asked to come in advance, you become the family members of the Yadu dynasty. You go and populate the Yadu dynasty. While the Lord is there, you will be there. When the Lord is leaving, you also leave. So they were protected by Krishna. So there was no way that anyone could ever kill them. And Acharyas describe, and Krishna himself says that in the 3rd chapter there is this verse where Krishna is saying that, oh, what is this? I have done this hard work of relieving the burden of this earth. By the war of Kurukshetra, the burden of the earth was relieved. And but there is still the burden of the Yadus. The Yadus are still there, and there are millions of them. Right? It is described that Krishna's family itself is so big. He had 10 sons. Each of those 10 sons had 10 sons. No, sorry. He had 10 sons from each wife. And how many wives he had? 16,108 wives. Right? 16,108 wives multiplied by 10 sons. And each of those sons had 10 sons. So, yahin pe kuch exponential number aa gaya. Just Krishna's immediate family. But other than that, so many Yadus were there. It's a huge family. So what is this burden? This burden is still there. So Prabhupada very beautifully explains in that purport, in the the purport of that verse. He says that this burden that Krishna is referring to, this burden is not the burden that was there for the dushkritam. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam. Those dushkritam burden is different. The boj of the mother earth is for a person who is adharmi. Adharmi person ko maintain karna, ye bahut boj hota hai for material nature, for mother earth. It's a big burden. It is like, when that, kya naam hai? Kasab, that terrorist, 2008 wala terrorist, right? When he was being maintained in jail, वो बड़ा बोझ है for the police. They don't like it, but their hands are tied. They would like to chop him off there only. उधर ही खत्म करो उसको, क्यों जिंदा रख रहे हो उसको? They would like to, but ऊपर से order आया, कुछ नहीं. He is to live till he is hanged. Till the date comes, he has to be alive. So वो बोझ है. That is a burden for the earth to hold the weight of a adharmi person. That is what is the boj for us to understand. It's very difficult. The Mother Earth is maintaining those people, but Krishna like it. So therefore, to reduce that burden, Krishna comes and vinashaya cha dushkritam. But Prabhupada says, but the Yadus are dharmic people. They are followers of Krishna. They are devotees of Krishna. So how are they a burden? How can they be a burden? Very beautiful point. No? So Prabhupada clarifies it immediately in the purport. That is why we should read Srimad Bhagavatam, we should read the purports of the Acharyas. Then we understand. Otherwise, just reading the verse, kuch palle nahi padta. It's very difficult to understand. Prabhupada says the burden of the Yadus is their separation when Krishna will leave. Because Krishna's time to leave had come. He was going to leave. And Krishna knew that if he leaves before them, they love him so much, their attachment to Krishna is so strong, it's so powerful, that if Krishna leaves, they will go mad in separation. They will go mad, they will go crazy. Because they have lived with Krishna for so long, for so many years. You imagine if we have the opportunity to live with the Supreme Lord, day in and day out you're seeing him, for over 100 years. 100 years, huh? The Dwarkavasis had his association for almost 100 years. Because he left Mathura, he left Vrindavan at the age of 12. 11 or 12. And then he left this material world he disappeared at age of around 125. So, 110 saal Dwarkavasis had his association, day in and day out. Every day they would see him. So if now suddenly he's gone, that pain would be too much and they would become crazy, and in their madness they would destroy everything around them. Someone who is too much in pain, उसको कुछ समझ में नहीं आता है वो क्या कर रहा है, he'll do anything. So Krishna knows that they are going to go mad in separation and they may cause unwarranted destruction if I leave before them. So therefore, they have to leave before me. So this is Krishna's arrangement. Krishna knows everything perfectly. He knows past, present and future. So therefore, he is able to very beautifully orchestrate everything so that the flow of the material world is not disturbed. So therefore, he then arranges for this pastime to happen. And in this pastime, the Lord, Supreme Lord, he shows humility also and he shows detachment also. This is very interesting. That Supreme Lord, of course, we say the Lord is the fountainhead of all qualities. So, he is the fountainhead of all good qualities. So, humility also, Krishna shows in unlimited measure. Unlimited. Krishna is actually unlimitedly humble also. So, you see, at the start of this pastime, we discussed that Brahmaji approaches along with other demigods to Krishna in Dwarka and suggests that, my Lord, abhi ho gaya, you can now. You can leave now. Okay, आपका time हो गया ये planet पे, अभी आप जा सकते हो. Now, you imagine if anyone who considers himself or herself even little bit important, you have come to some place and you are doing a lot of activities there, बहुत कुछ चल रहा है आपका काम. Someone comes and tells you कि अभी आप जा सकते हो, आपका हो गया काम. अरे, who are you to tell me, भाई, I'll go when I want to go. Now imagine Supreme Lord Krishna. Brahmaji is telling him, my Lord, abhi, please leave. You imagine how awkward that conversation must be. But Brahmaji is doing his service. He is doing his service, telling, my Lord, now you can wind up. Krishna could have told him that I'll go when I want to. I am supreme. I am Abhigya Swarat. मुझे जब जाना है, मुझे पता है, मैं जाऊंगा. No, the Lord immediately accepts and decides to leave. Isn't this humility? What wonderful humility that he is accepting the order of his servant. We see Lord Chaitanya also, when he wanted to go, after he took sannyas, he wanted to go to Vrindavan. He was in ecstasy. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in ecstasy. I'll go to Vrindavan. Ami Jabo Vrindavan. He's like in ecstasy to go to Vrindavan. And in that ecstasy, he started living. And hundreds of people from Mayapur, Shantipur, all started accompanying. We'll also go. Chalo, we'll all go to Vrindavan with the Lord. So everyone is trying to go into Vrindavan. At that point, Rupa and Sanatan Goswami, they are not yet Rupa and Sanatan. They are not yet been, come to that stature. But the Lord knows them. Lord meets them, and Sanatan Goswami suggests to the Lord, my Lord, it's not appropriate for you to go like this to Vrindavan with so many followers. If you think it is appropriate, maybe you can go alone like that. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, okay. He says, okay, he's all right with that. And he says, okay, I'll go back. Now, the Lord has been having a strong desire to go to Vrindavan from a very long time. उनका बहुत इच्छा रहता है वृंदावन जाना है करके, किसी भी हालत में वृंदावन जाना है, और बहुत strong इच्छा है. Many times, first time only after taking, sannyas, immediately he is going to Vrindavan. At that time, Nityanand Prabhu tricks him. And he tells the boys that you tell the Lord that this Ganga is Yamuna and Shantipur is Vrindavan. So Lord feels he's come. He is very ecstatic. He's in ecstatic bliss. But then he says, Arey, Advaitacharya and all these people are there. What is this? No, actually, you're in Shantipur only. So the Lord accepts that and he stays. He stays for a few more months after that also. And after that he is going. But still, when Rupa and Sanatan suggest, the Lord is so humble. He says, okay, I'll not go now. So this is the humility of the Lord, that he accepts the suggestion of Brahma that wind up the pastime. And another quality we can see of Krishna is detachment. We say renunciation. that these Shad Aishwarya, beauty, knowledge, fame, strength, beauty, knowledge, fame, renunciation. Anyway, one I'm missing. Anyway, so these 6 opulences of the Lord, one of them is renunciation. So the Lord is very renounced. This is like a cleanup job, that when sab ho gaya, abhi all the pastimes are done, everything is completed. Now everyone has to leave along with me. He doesn't show any sentimental attachment. Oh, but these are Yadus, they are my relatives. How can I orchestrate? They are killing each other. What he taught Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna applies over here. He doesn't try to show ki, Arjuna, that was for you, for me different rules apply. No, same thing. When the Lord decides, he takes that decision. So he shows no sentimental attachment that these are my relatives. They should live in a dignified way. ऐसा एक कहीं आ सकता है that let them all go one by one, let them leave their body. Because they are not going to leave their bodies. They are demigods, they are powerful. So therefore, this person, the Supreme Lord, yesterday Dayanidhi Prabhu pointed out very nicely that he is teaching us, he's teaching all of us that in this material world, even the Supreme Lord, when he comes to this material world, he respects the laws of this material world. It's not that when he comes here, he does something. Sometimes he may display transcendental pastimes which are against all laws of nature. Jao, laws of nature. He'll just swallow a whole forest fire. Itna bada forest fire, and a whole thing forest fire goes into his mouth and nothing happens. So he sometimes shows transcendental pastimes. But Lord also respects laws of nature, that if we are staying in material world, we can't stay here forever. We have to leave. So even my family members must leave. So like this, he impelled them. He impelled them. Like we saw in this Govardhan Leela pastime, it's a very powerful pastime there also, where Krishna, he convinces the Brajvasis no need to worship Indra. Worship Govardhan. So, aap socho logically, if you try to look at this logically, it makes no logical sense. That why would somebody worship a mountain against worshipping Devendra? Why would they do it? But the Lord has the ability to convince. He convinces all of them that yes, chodo ye sab, we worship the cows, we worship the mountain, the sacred mountain Govardhan. Let us all do that. He convinces them. So here also, he convinces all of his family members, let us go to Prabhashetra. And in that Prabhashetra, they all drink liquor and then they fight to kill each other. So there is a lesson here also. In the translation, it is mentioned that by the interaction of the faults of intoxication, all their minds became unbalanced. So, it is interesting to note what this intoxication is about, right? I mean, hopefully most of us in this room are not having that experience, but yeah, I have seen, what intoxication does. It's crazy. Why the devotees tell us that we should not take intoxication in any form? Why? Because when we are intoxicated, we actually forget who we are. We forget everything. All those that verse from the Gita, Dhyayato Vishayam Pumsam Sangaste Upajayate, Sangat Sanjayate Kama, Kamat Krodho Bijayate, Krodhat Bhavati Sammuhat, Sammuhat Smriti Bribhramat, Smriti Brahmshat Buddhinasho, Buddhinashat Pranashyati. This is like the anatomy of a fall down. So when we look at this whole verse and this whole flow, when we get intoxicated, this is what happens. See, in ordinary circumstances, if I'm intoxicated, if I'm not intoxicated, if I see dhyato vishayam pumsam, if I see some sense object, Sangaste upajayate. Yes, immediately that thing comes that I want this. But when we are intoxicated, we forget who we are. That smriti bhramshat buddhi nasho happens very quickly. वो accelerate हो जाता है. Otherwise, it's a gradual process. But this happens in minutes. We forget buddhi nashat pranashyati. Immediately we forget. We say, I want that now. There is no understanding ki Baba, this is not your property. But no, I want now. We forget everything. You know, we come completely under mode of ignorance. We lose inhibition. People drink so that they lose inhibition, and it is glorified. कि यार पियो कुछ नहीं होता है सब भूल जाओगे, you'll forget everything. Like Prabhuji mentioned yesterday, actually you don't forget everything, you start remembering things that you had forgotten. जो भूल गए थे वो भी याद आता है कि ए तूने मेरे को ऐसे इंसल्ट किया था, you had said like this about me, अभी मैं तेरे को दिखाएगा, I'll tell you who you are. So बॉस खड़ा है वहाँ पे, बॉस को आप उसको मतलब आप you have forgotten that he is boss because you have lost your inhibitions. And बॉस को आप कुछ उल्टा सीधा सुनाने चालू करते हो. I've seen this. I mean, I don't have to. इसके लिए कोई पर्सनल रियलाइजेशन नहीं चाहिए, दूसरों का देख के भी सीख सकते हैं. People lose control of their body. They start acting like fools. They're acting like fools. They start abusing each other. They start saying things which they would normally उसे दबा के रखा है, वो सब बाहर आ जाता है. And they are creating a spectacle. Everyone in the audience is seeing them, but they don't know. They are in that state. वो भूल गए, inebriated state बोलते हैं. They're forgotten. They don't know who they are. They don't know what they are supposed to behave, how they have to speak to people, to someone else's wife, to someone's boss, to someone's husband. They forget everything. They behave like crazy. Lose inhibition. They become arrogant. They lose control. And I have seen careers getting spoiled. People being thrown out of companies who were very successful, doing very well in a company, and there was a party. ये मैंने खुद मेरे आंखों से देखा तो मैं बता रहा हूँ. There was a party, New Year, year-end party की, साल अच्छा गया, let's have a party. And in that party, someone who is a very, very successful person in the company, very successful, growing very fast in the company, that person drinks too much and misbehaves with the opposite sex. Finished. Next day he gets a letter, goodbye. Because it's too powerful, sabke सामने हुआ है, you misbehaved with somebody. So even what you have hidden inside your heart comes out. You can't control yourself. So that is the power of this intoxication. So that even so Krishna is purposely making a point here that even my associates, even those who are my immediate associates, if they commit this mistake, they will also suffer. They will kill each other. So when they had this intoxication, what happened? Because they were in intoxicated state, they forgot that who is this Krishna? Who is this Balram? Who is this Aniruddha? Who is this Pradyumna? Who are all these people? Someone says some one loose remark. And if you have seen how these fights escalate, I have seen a lot. So therefore, I'm just sharing so that we should not ever feel that, it's a nice thing. No, it's not. It's horrible. One person will say something to somebody. It starts with only two people. It's like bamboos, You need only 2 bamboos to start a forest fire. You don't need 500 bamboos, fighting, having friction. 2 bamboos are enough. There's a whole crowd, 2 people. One person says something to another because he is drunk. Now, ordinarily, that person would never take it seriously. Not a chance. Never take it seriously. But now, in drunken state, अरे तू ऐसा कैसा बोला मेरे को? How you said like this to me? ऐसा क्या? मैं तो बहुत कम बोला, और बोलूंगा. I'll tell more. And then the fight starts escalating between these 2 people. Okay? And both of them are drunk. So both of them start raising their voice. When they raise their voice, what happens? बाकी लोग को भी सुनाई देता है. तो वो लोग भी आ जाते देखने. See, India में this is the classic thing. Moment people see an accident or they see a fight, they have to see what's happening. क्या हो रहा है, क्या हो रहा है यार, क्या हो रहा है, क्या हो रहा है, क्या हो गया? So everyone comes. And then one person is shouting, other person. एक ने किसी ने झापड़ मार दिया. Now जिसको झापड़ लगा, उसका कोई तो वहां पे चमचा बैठा है. Hey, कैसा मारा तूने? He joins the fight. And he hits this guy. And now this guy, his chamchas are there in the crowd. They also join the fight. And within minutes, the whole room is fighting with each other. All of them. This is exactly what happened. That someone said something and they start cursing each other and they came to a point where they killed each other. But why this happened? By the will of the Lord. We can understand only this way, that this is the will of the Lord. Lord wanted this to happen, so it happened. It's a very powerful illustration. We say, no, Rakhe Krishna Mare Ke, Mare Krishna Rakhe Ke. Rakhe Krishna Mare Ke. 17 times Jarasandha attacked Mathura. 17 times. With 17 Akshayani, army, huge army. Every time he would come and attack. Every single one of the people that Jarasandha collected to fight these battles, every single one of them was killed. It is described in Bhagavatam, there were rivers of blood. The hands, severed hands and legs were floating in the rivers of blood. A very graphic description is given. All of them were killed. Only one person was left alive. Who is that? Jarasandha. So that again next year और एक सेना लेके फिर से दावा डाल दो. Again attack Mathura. And in all these wars, none of the Yadus were killed. Rakhe Krishna Mare Ke. No one died. Nothing happened. Only Jarasandha's people are getting killed. Imagine what is the foolishness of Jarasandha. Demoniac consciousness is so powerful, it doesn't allow you to see what is going on. दिखता ही नहीं आपको. अरे बाबा देखो ना, चलो एक बार हो गया, दो बार हो गया, पांच कुछ तो अकल आनी चाहिए ना. You should get some intelligence कि बाबा enough now यार, how much you are going to kill? But no, he kept going. And Krishna kept destroying. Because that was Krishna's plan. Vinashaya dushkritam. Very efficiently, rather than him having to go out and find all the demons and kill them, सबको एक जगह पे लाओ, एक साथ खत्म करो. Very efficient. So Rakhe Krishna Mare Ke. But Mare Krishna Rakhe Ke. When he wanted to destroy them, they just killed each other under the influence of alcohol. So when the Lord's will is there, coming back, when the Lord's will is there, if he wants to destroy, if he wants to take away, there's nothing we can do. By his sweet will only these devotees appeared on this earth. They're all demigods, all devotees of the Lord. By his sweet will they appeared here. And by his sweet will only they left. In the same way, we should understand that by the sweet will of Shri Radha Gopinath, by the divine arrangement of Srila Prabhupada, all his wonderful disciples, Srila Prabhupada came, all his wonderful disciples came and they assisted him in creating this ISKCON movement and spread it to all corners of the earth. Jare dekho tare kaho Krishna Upadesh. Went to every town and village, everywhere, and even now it is happening. These disciples of Srila Prabhupada who have done such magical feats, they all came by the sweet will of the Lord. And by the sweet will of the Lord, they are also disappearing. So we see so many legends of ISKCON who have passed away in the last few decades. We lost so many. Tamal Krishna Maharaj, Sridhar Maharaj, Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, Aindra Prabhu, Bhakti Charu Maharaj, Gopal Krishna Maharaj. So many legends. They are like elephants, within ISKCON. Each of them has done some crazy amount of service to spread this ISKCON movement all over the world. Amazing what they have done. But when the Lord's will is there, one day they are there and next day they are gone. This is all happening. So Lord brings these wonderful souls into this material world so that while they are there, they can transform the hearts of millions of devotees. And, at one point of time, he just takes them away back to his pastimes. We don't know when that is going to happen. So therefore, we should understand from all these pastimes of the Lord and, pastimes of all these wonderful souls, we should understand that nothing and nobody in this world is permanent. We will not permanently have our body. We will not permanently have our assets. We will not permanently have the ability to speak, to hear, to walk and come to temple. We will not have these assets forever. We will not have these wonderful things in our life which we have. We will not have them forever. They're going to be taken away by influence of time. Therefore, while we still have the association of devotees, cherish that devotees, cherish that association. We still have a body. With this body, with your senses, with whatever powers Krishna has given us, we should worship the Lord, definitely. We should chant the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Should cherish what we have. We've been given a body which is able to speak, which is able to chant. We're able to hear what we are chanting. Our hand still moves on the counter. Like we said, there's so many things we take for granted. If you fracture your hand and you can't chant, imagine how difficult chanting with left. Ever tried? How many people over here are left-handed? Anyone who's lefty? Okay, minority as always, right? So, lefty hai, abhi rest of us are all right-handed. If you're cutting a piece of paper with a sharp scissor, easily katta hai? Have you tried cutting with your left hand? Same sharp scissor. Have you tried cutting with your left hand? It's very tough. Nahi katta hai. Nahi katta hai. It's very tough. So, we take so many things for granted that we have ability to chant, Baba. Lord has given us. It's going to be taken away at some point. We have the ability to sit like this and associate with each other, to take darshan of the Lord. That eyesight is going to go away. We have the ability to listen to Hari Katha. That ability to listen is going to go away. That ability to stay awake when Katha is going on, that is going to go away. All of these things are going to be taken away by the influence of time. We are going to be destroyed by this, influence of time. So therefore, while we still have this body, we still have this wonderful association of devotees, sannyasis, brahmacharis, grihasthas, whoever. We should not discriminate. Hey, I only associate with, senior devotees. No. Whoever, we get an opportunity to serve, we get an opportunity to associate, we should do it. Kya pata, tomorrow we may not have that opportunity. It may be taken away by the sweet will of Krishna. So let us try to take full responsibility, take full advantage what Krishna has given us so kindly, and try to use it to serve the Vaishnavas and to please the Supreme Lord. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavat Mahapuran ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari. Any questions or comments? We have a few minutes if anybody has any questions or comments.
Hare Krishna. So I was telling about, we chant the names of Krishna, we hear the stories of Krishna, the pastimes of Krishna. Then you told that, at some point of time, everything would be taken away. So that's the reason we need to lead our life and to live our life at the fullest and take the maximum advantage of it. What I feel is that, sir, apart from, there are two important aspects. One is Swabhav, one is Gun. Swabhav and Gun will always be the same. From your first
Nature
day
of
of
a
life.
person doesn't change.
Yeah, from the first day of your life and till the last date of your life, your swabhav, your gun always remains the same. So ideally, when we chant, everybody who chants the name of Krishna understands the eternity, the blessings of Krishna. We should always pray to Lord Almighty that हमारी ज़िंदगी में अच्छे लोग आए और अच्छे लोग ऐसे लोग आए जो हमारी गुणों की कदर करे, जो हमारी स्वभाव की कदर करे, हमारे स्वभाव की कदर करे, हमारे गुणों की कदर करे, वही सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट है सर.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, so it is a fact that our nature doesn't change so easily. You know कि जो व्यक्ति का नेचर है, it is like a बोलते हैं ना, कपड़े पे अगर कोई स्टेन लग जाए, सफ़ेद धोती पे या सफ़ेद कुर्ते पे स्टेन लग जाए, वो स्टेन जाता नहीं है. आप कितना भी धो उसको, वो नहीं जाता है. वो कपड़ा घिस जाएगा लेकिन स्टेन नहीं जाता है. तो नेचर ऑफ अ पर्सन इज लाइक दैट. वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू चेंज द नेचर. हाउएवर, as you said very nicely, that we should pray to the Lord that give me the association of people, who have better nature than me. मुझसे बेहतर लोगों से मुझे उनका संग मिले, because जैसा संग वैसा रंग. The way we associate, kind of people we associate with, we become like that. It takes time. See, if you only associate with devotees once in a way, महीने 2 महीने में एक बार मंदिर में आया, ऐसा मत्था टेकने, नारियल चढ़ाया, चले गए, yeah, it's still beneficial, but it will not change your nature. But if we really come like this in association of devotees regularly, every Sunday, whenever we have time, we come. Weekday also time मिला, आ जाए, बर्थडे तो आ गए, एनिवर्सरी तो आ गए, बच्चे का बर्थडे आ गए, बच्चे का एनिवर्सरी आ गए, मतलब आते रहो. बहाना ढूंढो यहाँ आने के लिए. हम लोग बहाना ढूंढते हैं टाइम पास करने के लिए. We should find excuses to come here and associate with devotees. If we do that, we come and associate with devotees, slowly but surely, even person who is in tamogun comes to rajogun. Person who is in rajogun comes to satogun. It's a matter of time. It may take lifetimes. Because अंदर जो कूट के भरा हुआ है, अंदर इधर तमोगुण भरा हुआ है. Because many lifetimes you have been in tamogun. Somehow by some causeless mercy we landed here in association of devotees. So after landing here we should take as much as we can, soak in. Someone was asking that, are you going to Kumbh Mela? I said, no, with my health I can't go to Kumbh Mela. So, but this is our Kumbh Mela. यही है हमारा कुंभ मेला. Because we are, soaking ourselves, we are taking a bath, we are taking a dip in the association of wonderful Vaishnavas. This for us, for those who cannot go, don't be feeling I am deprived, I can't go. It doesn't matter. If you can go, you should go. By all means, you should go. But if you can't go, we come here, we associate, take the Lord's association, take association of sadhus. That is our Kumbh Mela. That is satisfactory for us. So this association is what transforms the heart. Hare Krishna. Mataji.
Okay, Prabhuji, my question is something related to this only. Not even a blade of a grass moves without his will.
Yes.
Okay, and if that is the true, that means will of the blade of the grass does not have its own will. Animals don't have their own will. Their will is controlled by the Lord. So they are themselves are devotees of the Lord, isn't it? Whether they know it or not, whether they chant Hare Krishna or not, but their will is controlled by the Lord. When we surrender ourselves, what we say, please Lord, not my will, thy will, right? That means we surrender our will to the Lord. That at that time we become a devotee, right? So why do we call only few people who chant Hare Krishna as a devotees and not rest of the things in the world as a devotee?
Okay, a little confusing, but let me see if I've got your question. You are saying that those who are in animal body, for example, or plant body, unka free will kidhar hai? Where is their free will? Because you're saying even a blade of grass cannot move without the Lord's consent.
They don't have any.
They don't have any
free will.
Yeah, so it is a fact that those which are in lower species of life, they don't have that much free will. They have, see, it is like we are in this material world, which itself is compared to a Durga or a prison. We have left the spiritual world, we have come to the material world where we are living in a prison house. This is a prison house. Now, in this prison house, there are some category A prison cells, category B and category C. Okay, category A is human beings. थोड़ा AC, TV वीवी रहता है उधर, तो उसको लगता है कि मेरा prison में भी मैं कुछ एकदम important है. I've got a good life here, right? So we feel very nice and comfortable. Then there's the category B who's like a normal cell, like everybody. And there's a category C who is in solitary confinement, who is too dangerous for, you know, others in the prison. So he's kept in solitary confinement. So that person who is in solitary confinement practically has no free will. There's nothing he can do. He has to just be in that jail whole day. No window, no light, nothing. दिन में 3 time खाना आएगा, खाना खाओ बस, that's it. Nothing else he can do. It's like a prison within a prison. So these bodies of animals, plants, fish, reptiles, all the amongst the 84 lakh, the other 80 lakh species are like different species of solitary confinement, where the free will is very reduced. It is because we have done too much sinful activity in human form of life, therefore we are sent to these, and we have desires to enjoy. So animals also enjoy. It's not that they don't enjoy. A plant also enjoys. An animal also enjoys. But no free will. A deer can't have grass peacefully. There's always a lion or a cheetah or a leopard looking at catching them to eat them. They can't enjoy. The grass can't enjoy because there's always a deer waiting to eat them. So they have no free will in that sense. But still, free will is there because in the animal body, they are strictly bound by laws of nature. But human life, laws of nature apply, but to the extent that we follow those laws of nature, we can live here peacefully. If we don't, we're going to suffer. Sorry.
Okay.
But did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically what you are saying, Lord gives free will to all species, but because we misused our free will, now we are put into those constrained bodies.
Lower species.
Now, from constrained bodies, when we want to move to the upper bodies, we need association and and we need a will to do good things.
Yes.
Right. So in that way, that our will is controlled by our prakriti. Right. But prakriti is controlled by the Lord again.
Yes.
So if Lord wants to do certain things through you, good things, then he will control you through your prakriti. Right? So again, that makes sense that your will is also given by the Lord. Okay, I want to do bad things, I want to do good things.
The will is the ability to have that free will is given by the Lord. But what you do with that free will is your choice. So for instance, circumstances will be created before us in our life. Okay? As per our karma and as per our previous life's desires, we are placed, ऐसे एक उठा के आपको circumstance में डाल देते हैं. So if you had a desire, for example, you had some illicit desire in your previous life, some bad, sinful desire you had in your previous life, but in your previous life it didn't get fulfilled. This life, you are given, maybe this or maybe many lifetimes later, you are given that opportunity, you are placed in that circumstance where now you can fulfill that sinful desire. You are given that opportunity. But do you choose to fulfill that sinful desire? Or do you choose to say, no, I think I'll stay away? That is your free will. Now, if you choose to fulfill that sinful desire, you will again get into the cycle of karma. Again, you will suffer for it. And because of that suffering, you'll say, yaar, enjoy to kar raha tha, kya problem hai? And then, you suffer because of that. So, it's a complex thing. Karma, desire is like I always say it's like a bhelpuri. Karma and desire is like a bhelpuri and guna. What qualities we have, what karma we perform, and what desires we have, they all mix together to give us next body, next body, next body. So it's the same ingredients, same sattva guna, tamo guna, rajo guna. Teen wahi ingredients hai. But those three ingredients mixed together along with green chutney, tikha chutney of your karma, meetha chutney of your desire, or mix karke किसी का भेलपुरी तीखा बनता है, किसी का भेलपुरी मीठा बनता है, किसी का मीडियम बनता है. Yeah, everyone's life changes accordingly that way. Yeah, Hare Krishna. Yes, last question. Yeah, it's started.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, like you just now said, from next body to next body to next body. How to cut this cycle?
Thank you for asking that question, because we cut that cycle by coming in the association of devotees, understanding why am I suffering. पहले तो समझो, human form of life is the only form where we can ask questions, like Mataji asked question, Prabhuji asked question. If a dog is sitting here, can the dog ask any questions? प्रभु जी आपने बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग पॉइंट बोला, मेरे को ये समझना है. Oh नहीं, cannot ask, right? Human form of life, we have this great facility to question, who am I? Who is God? मेरा उनसे क्या लेना देना? What is my relationship with this God? Why am I suffering? If God is there, I am there, why am I suffering? I don't want to suffer. No one wants to suffer, but suffering is there. So when we come to this point where we want to ask that how do we get out of the cycle of birth and death, get out of the cycle of janma, mrityu, jara, vyadhi, dukkha, doshanu, darshanam, when we decide we want to get out of this, that is where really human life starts. We take shelter of like-minded people like this, we associate, we hear Hari Katha, we chant the holy names, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. So, we are suffering because we are actually not this material body. We are the spirit soul that resides in this material body. But we are trying to enjoy in this material world. It is like I am a fish out of water. A fish cannot enjoy out of water, but we are desperately seeking enjoyment. Therefore, we are suffering. When we realize that actually Jivere Swarupoy Krishna Nityadas, our soul is part and parcel of God, and we connect to spiritual life. We have a material life. When we connect to a spiritual life, we say that, okay, let me do some spiritual activities for my soul, which is for me. When I do spiritual activities, then I am able to break out of the clutches of this material nature. I'll end with this. Krishna says in the Gita, Daivesha gunamayi mama maya duratya mam eva hi prapadyante maya metam tarantite. So this maya, illusory energy, which keeps us in this material world, thinking ki nahi, अच्छा चल रहा है, I will enjoy, somehow I'll find a way to enjoy. This maya is too powerful. Krishna says, Daivesha gunamayi mama maya duratya is my energy. She's too powerful. She will keep you in illusion for all your life. आप जिंदगी भर वो illusion में रहेंगे कि ना, I can enjoy. When you are suffering, you will still feel, I'll find enjoyment. Mama maya duratya. Mam eva hi prapadyante. When we surrender to Krishna, maya metam tarantite. We are able to cross over maya. We are able to leave this material world and go back to Godhead. Okay? Hare Krishna. श्रीमद् भागवत महापुराण की, शील प्रभुपाद की, शील गुरुदेव की, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदी, हरि हरि बोल. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.